The content presented is for entertainment purposes only. Some content may not be suitable for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Periodic Review. I am JayReims, my lovely co-host.
Hi, wife. I'm the wife.
Rianne, my co-host Rianne, and Alakai.
Hi, I'm not the wife.
He is not
lovely.
the wife. He is beautiful. He's handsome, but he is not my wife.
Sorry.
My wife is beautiful and beautiful. Almost said handsome.
That's inferring that I'm not beautiful.
No, you are beautiful, sir. I apologize. So, hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today, we're going to be talking about The Batman, a little bit of Outlander, and hopefully some Arcane today. It is the last Monday of the month, and we're going to be
Batman
having some talking some reviews and such. So, hope you guys are having a wonderful day. If you haven't already, the algorithms really like it when you hit like, subscribe, and put a comment up on our video. So definitely do that. Share it to family and friends. It definitely lets everybody know that what is going live is exciting, and we definitely encourage new people to check us out if we haven't already. How you doing, Miss Rianne?
I'm fine.
You're hanging in there?
The way that you said that and your voice shakes. She's like, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Tell us a little bit about not necessarily what's happening, but what did you do this weekend?
I stayed up way too late to drive up to Salt Lake to go sit in a huge convention center with 3,000 plus more Republicans for the Republicans, like the Utah State Republican Convention.
Yeah.
Where we as a party voted on the candidates that we were the candidates that the Republican Party was going to support for office.
And with the long travel in a short amount of time, staying in a hotel on a hard bed and sitting on hard chairs.
Oh, it was awful. Those chairs are awful.
It's not helped your back
they were horrible.
Your legs much at all, has
No, so like
Oh,
my
that's
lower
unfortunate.
back is all sore. So if you hear me like or something,
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh because I know you're in pain, but
yeah, don't
the
be mean.
noises are funny. I apologize.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch over to Mr. Alakai. How are you doing, Mr. Alakai?
Pretty good.
What
Honestly,
you up to this week?
well, so first of all, Rianne, when you said a bunch of what was it called? The Utah Republican.
The Utah Republican Party. Yeah.
Okay, to me in my head, I was just like, that just sounds like a big Mormon meetup.
There were a lot of non-Mormons there too. There were
Yeah, there's actually a lot of non-LDS people in Utah,
that are conservative.
Well,
and,
but
yeah.
they're all most of them are conservative.
that are not politicians.
Right.
Okay. I'm good. This weekend I worked pretty much, and that was it. Actually, I finished my finals over the weekend.
Ooh.
I did that too.
Yeah. So I only had 2 in person, and they were last week. So I was one of the lucky students at SEU that got to finish finals the week before finals week. And then over the weekend, I had 2 assignments online for final projects, and I did those over the weekend and just got them done and over with. So
Nice. Well, congrats, you guys, on completing your finals
thanks
for this semester.
Only like 3-ish semesters left to go for me.
Nice.
Oh, that's nice.
I think it depends on how.
How it
depends
goes.
Well, it really just depends on the amount of credits that I take, because I've dropped out of so many classes and I've switched my major a couple times.
Oh, so you got to meet your graduation
gotcha.
requirements.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I only have the requirements for communications is not. There's not very many requirements for the major that I'm going for, and after I finish all that, I pretty much have X amount. I have X amount of credits to take whatever I want.
Gotcha.
So I should have about 15 by then, but I don't know. I haven't done the math completely.
I'm excited for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Be done with all the schooling and such.
I'm sitting over here watching Rianne just
Wincing
squirm
and
in pain. Sorry.
Well, I did ask her if she wanted to bow out on this episode, but she
No, because I don't want somebody to get mad at
She
me
would,
later for not being.
Oh.
You didn't do the podcast. Blah, blah,
You didn't
blah."
do the podcast. That's how I sound like? Jeepers.
Sometimes.
Jeepers. Jeepers.
Now you sound like a 50-year-old man in the 50s. Jeepers, Judy.
Well, I'm really glad you're here, Rianne.
Thanks.
I am too. Thank you for coming down. We appreciate it.
If anything, I will entertain Alakai.
All right. So hopefully we'll have everybody that's going to be watching live today about now. Just so you guys know, this episode is brought to you by viewers like you. So thank you. Hopefully we earn your subscription, follow, like, and all that fun stuff today.
Shout out.
We are
Special shout out to Nachos.
and your mom.
They're amazing.
Dude, I just had apple nachos today. Talk about amazing.
What are apple nachos?
Excellent. Before we move on, what just happened?
I don't know. She said apple nachos.
I was
No,
going
I
to tell
was-
you what apple nachos
I
were,
was-
but then he cut me off, so I was just like, okay,
No, I
never
was
mind.
in the middle of saying some stuff and I forgot. Oh yeah, so we are streaming our live podcast every Monday between 6 and 7 Mountain Standard Time, and we also have myself, JayReims, live streaming video games over on all of your wonderful platforms every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday between 9 and 10 Mountain Standard Time. So hopefully we'll see you guys all there. Let's jump into the episode. I apologize, guys. All right. So apple nachos. Rianne, go. Sorry.
So it's an apple sliced like chips, right? And then
You put the apple in the nacho cheese.
no nacho cheese.
Then you warm it
So
all
you
up.
put so it's like a green apple because the texture is good, right? And then you cover it. They covered it with homemade granola, and then drizzled it with honey.
That sounds delicious.
So freaking delicious and pretty healthy.
There you have it, folks.
Excellent.
Apple nachos. Never heard of those in my entire life, and I was like, wait, what?
Apple nachos. They are not yours because they're nachos.
Ha.
Okay.
Ha. Ha. Ha.
We're so talkative today, aren't we? Let's start with I say let's start with Outlander. Let's end on the Batman, I think is what we should do. What do you guys think?
I love Outlander. I will watch it over and over and over again, and I love Sam Hagen,
Sam Hagen's the guy that
AKA
plays
Jamie.
Yeah. He's supposed
Jamie
to be
Fraser.
a redhead. He's not, I don't know.
Hmm?
He's kind of a redhead.
He's
His hair is almost auburn. Like it's almost like a
He's
a
Scottish.
reddish brown.
his hair's brown in real life. He's Scottish.
Well, yeah.
So
If you hear him like actually talk as a Scot, yeah.
I finished season 2 last night and started season 3 immediately after.
Okay, so the end of season is it the end of season 2 or the end
So-
of season 1?
So the end of season 2 right now where I'm at. Okay, I'll tell you the episode that I just watched.
Yes.
Spoilers, obviously.
Well,
I
if-
just saw Fergus get his hand chopped off.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. So how did you feel about the end of season 1? That's what I want to know.
Oh, man, that was dark. It was. What kind of bothers me is how frequent and how comfortable TV shows and movies are getting with depicting sexual assault like that.
Yeah.
Which I mean, like it's
So-
accurate, but at the same time, it's just like they're showing so
But
much.
they've been doing it for years, they've been depicting sexual assault for years. I mean, even decades.
Towards
Against women.
Yeah.
And then in this case, they go with
It's
a man.
towards a man. And that's the first time I've ever seen SA be depicted towards a man.
It was also my first time too. Yeah.
So
Actually,
like
no, Sons of Anarchy, but
Oh, yeah. But it's really interesting because it's not depicted towards men hardly ever.
Very little,
right?
Yeah,
And
they depicted like the really deep parts of it too. Like they got very psychological with it.
Yeah.
To the point where like they had to rebuild them. Like I noticed this show does that a lot, where it'll kind of skip ahead, and then it'll go back to like what happened in the first place.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
skims like you have to.
It
piece
jumps
together.
around a little bit.
They did that. They did the same thing with the end of season 3 or season 2 with the war.
Mm-hmm.
But like with this, like they go back and like kind of from Claire's perspective, she has to piece together the memories to understand for herself, and Jamie has to be willing to be vulnerable and open up to her,
which
when
is
he was
so hard for men usually.
yeah. And this is also like, I mean, granted, he was like one of those pretty typical men, like the male
He's a manly
figure.
man, yeah.
Yeah, trying to get the right words out. But like the fact that he was able to trust Claire at the end of it kind of shows you the amount of
the level of vulnerability between them, right?
right, the gravity of the relationship,
Yeah.
if you, for lack of a better term. But and then you see it even more throughout season 2 constantly. I hate politics, so the very beginning, or like the very first half of season 2 up until the duel happened between Jack Randall and Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole first half where it's all super political, I was so bored with. But what really kept me invested was the relationship between Claire and Jamie, because a lot of it is them like working together through the relationship, through the politics that they have to manipulate and scheme against, I guess. But that's what kept me involved in the first half. Like during that time, I was ready to just kind of quit.
It was yeah. That season is kind of hard.
But
it took me till the end, like most of season 3, and then I got into it.
But what really got me was, when Jamie breaks his promise to Claire and he demands the duel with Jack Randall, and you're kind of left on like the whole why did he do it, and they skip ahead to the next episode, and you learn the heartbreaking reasons as to why he went back on his promise, and it's like you have a very hard time, or I mean, like it's. For me, I almost kind of got mad at Claire for like being upset at him in the first place, but at the same time, I get it. But
well, yeah, because she's pregnant at this time,
right? With Brienne.
No, mm-mm.
Oh no, the other.
She was pregnant with their first baby that she lost.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But
also, hella heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, I can't even like it was.
Yeah, we identify too close to that. So
that was hard.
It's hard to talk about, but.
But the show it's very interesting. I will watch it over and over again. Because who doesn't like a pretty Scottishman?
Yeah.
But I like it because it does talk about social stuff.
Yeah.
And
has a little bit of everything
the
in
implications of history and everything, so.
That's kind of what I like about it. It has a little bit of everything in it. It has like kind of the historical stuff around it and some historical events, but you're kind of involved with it with these different characters. It has romance. It has fighting. Dueling. It has for adults. It definitely has a little bit of everything, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't watch this show if you're a kid.
Definitely no. This is definitely not a show for children. Definitely not.
No. If parents let I don't know. I know kids probably see so much worse, but.
Well, but there's a lot of adults who don't see grotesque like violence and sexuality as a big deal. And so a lot of these kids grow up with watching like
they're desensitized to it. Yeah.
So but I still like get freaked out when like somebody's head gets crushed or like decapitated or whatever. I'm just
Dude,
like, oh shit, did you see that?
My
So-
mind when you said that, my mind immediately went to when Murtaugh chopped off the Duke of Sandringham's head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was not expecting
gosh, I
that.
forgot about that character.
I was not expecting
Murtaugh's
that.
one of my
but,
favorite
like,
characters for sure.
I
No,
love
not Murtaugh, the
Murtaugh.
Duke. I forgot about the Duke as the character.
I was
as a
just
character.
that was crazy to me. I just like because you see him lift up the axe, and I was like, he's not going to do it. And then you see him swing it down. I'm like, oh shit, he did it.
Yeah.
Yep. Right.
That show has a lot of those moments for me too, where I'm like, they're not going to do that. Oh shit, they did it.
Dude, just
They're not
wait.
going to do that. Oh
Just
shit,
wait.
they did it.
Just
Right?
wait.
Like when the episode that I just watched where Fergus got his hand chopped off.
Yeah.
This little kid. Like I have a hard time watching stuff involving kids too. Like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, oh man. Because when they laid his arm down, I was like, they're not gonna chop off his hand. And then the British soldier yelled like, no, he's just a kid. And then you just see the sword go down and whack.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they actually did it.
Yeah. And it was like they were gonna tease it, and it wasn't gonna happen.
Uh-huh.
And then like all of a sudden, it just like it came down, and even Fergus was surprised. He was just like, "Oh, goodness gracious!"
Yeah, I was waiting because with the whole like plot armor thing, like as soon as that soldier's hand went up, I was like, watch, there's gonna be an arrow flying through his arm right now. Nope, just whack
Right.
off with this kid's hand. This poor kid.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Fergus.
Yeah.
Love that boy.
Yeah. His character has a very interesting arc, and it
It
gets really interesting. Well, I guess it
In
gets less
season
interesting
6.
in season 5. Or
No, not less interesting. Like he's not.
Does he stick around?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like okay.
He's
Yeah.
in season 6,
yeah,
so he's there.
yeah, he's there.
Okay, good.
Like
I
it
love
starts
that
out
kid.
like he's like they kind of seemed like they stopped his character progression, and then like partway through season 6, it's like, oh, okay, now we have some.
No,
something going
it
on.
starts in season 5. You just don't remember because it's been a minute since we've seen.
Yeah,
It was like-
probably.
Immediately when Jamie hired Fergus, immediately I was like, I bet this kid is going to be like their surrogate child. And then
Mhm.
sure enough,
Yeah,
end of
yeah, he
season
is.
end of season 2, I love you like a son, lad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my
He's like a
goodness.
pseudo Frasier.
Yeah. God, I love that kid.
I like his character.
Yeah. Also, I'm very impressed. I've only seen two episodes with her in it, but I'm very impressed with Brianna's character already. Like even after just 2 episodes, like she's I got good vibes.
Jacob, how do you feel about Brianna?
You shut your mouth. You know how I feel about redheads.
Yeah, I know how you feel about redheads.
No, but it's kind of a struggle when you see her and what's his face in their relationship in
Roger.
Don't spoil it for him.
well, all I'm gonna say is it's gonna be interesting when you get to see those parts.
Okay.
It's quite an emotional roller coaster ride.
Oh boy.
Yeah, do not spoil it.
I won't spoil it. But yeah, Murdaugh's character is one of my favorites.
I love Murtaugh.
He's got such a great character arc, and it's sad that we don't see him anymore. But yeah,
Jacob,
he's got a good story.
You
arc.
are seriously spoiling so much. Stop spoiling shit.
Man, now I'm bummed.
Okay.
Murtaugh's not in the show.
He is. He's just being. Ugh.
Whoops.
Jacob. Do not talk past season 2.
Wait, what you on your phone for, there, sweetie?
I am shopping
Oh, is that what you're doing?
a little bit.
Okay.
I'm trying to look for a dress for the gala. And I may
Okay.
or may not be getting distracted by a few video advertisements.
Okay. Well, let's stop that. We're doing the podcast. Yeah, I would definitely say overall, like going through the seasons, it's been a very solid Like, it's been a very solid series. I'm going to be pretty sad when it goes away. Because it's been really interesting, and it's, even though it is a romantic drama, I like it. I really enjoy it.
It's a historical romantic drama.
Yeah.
Alakai, have you seen Game of Thrones?
Yes. I was actually going to say
What do you like? Which one do you like out of the two better?
Outlander or Game of Thrones?
Uh-huh.
Well, I finished Game of Thrones. I haven't finished Outlander. I loved Game of Thrones until they decided to cut back on episodes and F up the story.
Yeah.
So,
like the last couple of seasons are just kind of like, what?
I mean, don't get me wrong.
The last
Cinematography
season was.
in those seasons, phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. They really did a good job with filming. But execution of the story, my goodness.
Well, because the guy hasn't even finished the series. So they finished the books, or finished the series before he finished the books. So, like, the last 2 seasons were completely, like, HBO.
Hail Mary.
Yeah, we just switched from talking about Outlander. Now we're talking about Game of Thrones.
Well, I was just seeing what Alakai liked the best between the two. I like Outlander better.
So I like the execution of the story behind Outlander. I like the cinematography of Game of Thrones.
Definitely gives you kind of like a movie kind of esque feel with Game of Thrones.
Yeah, whereas with Outlander, you can definitely tell it was on a budget. And the cinematography, for me, isn't amazing. So.
Yeah, I would definitely say that.
But I do appreciate their vision of it, like the episode where they're piecing together the memories that Jaime had at the Battle of Culloden. That I really appreciate how they told that story, because it shows it. You start off the episode and there's just bodies everywhere, and you're like, oh shit, what happened? And I was bummed at first that we didn't actually get to see the battle, because if there's anything about like period pieces, I really enjoy seeing like big battle scenes, because I know like those are really expensive and really hard to film because there's so much involved. So I always really appreciate seeing like
hundreds of extras, like explosions usually.
Well, that, and also how
blood.
Like what the directors did with that money and like what they put towards it, I guess.
Right.
So yeah, and like with that episode, the way that they kind of show Jaime laying on all these bodies, and then Jack Randall's body laying on top of him, and then they kind of go back to like, you can see that he's putting together the memories from the battle, and he's like trying to remember what happened and like how he got to where he was. And oh man,
it's intense, huh?
Yeah, just because you know as like the preparation is coming towards that battle, that it's like you see the Jacobite army and they are tiny.
Oh, so
and
tiny.
Then you understand,
but
especially
badass.
yeah. Oh yeah. But then like you also if you understand the history behind it too, and then they were so outnumbered. And on top of that, like they had the mortars and the cannons, and they were just getting absolutely blasted, and it's just
right.
It was so tragic, but at the same time, it was like, man, these guys have so much heart and soul.
And it was sad because like how Jaime was trying to get him to not go to battle,
and it totally like
backfired.
Yeah, like he couldn't.
It happened anyway.
Yeah, like and it sucks because that whole conversation about Charles that him and Claire had, I feel like it was all for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, all because Dougal came in and overheard them and wouldn't let them explain anything. And then that shit went down. And then, what's his name? Not Angus. The eye patch guy.
Oh. I loved those two.
I know.
Yeah.
That's sad. I forgot about
that sucked. That was hard to watch.
Man, you're making me relive it now a little bit, and I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
so sad.
Yeah.
No, but like, oh man, because then he walks in immediately thinking that Jamie's a traitor and all that shit, and it sucks because Jamie's the only person on the show with any amount of honor and like authenticity.
Yeah.
I think is what I'm trying to get at, but
Right.
yeah, like
And integrity.
like he's just trying to do the best that he can for the people that he loves, and it's all backfiring on him. Sucks.
Oh.
Best character that deserves the world, but it's like the shit's never happening.
Yeah. I want to read the books.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're as saucy as the TV show.
Well, apparently, from what I've read from like the different reviews and stuff like that, people are saying that it is very, like, it's very good to the original IP from the books. Like they're saying, like the steamy scenes, the violence, this, the essay, all of that is like, they said it's like, yep, that's in there. Like they definitely have done true to the book. So
Well, shoot. I'm going to read the books then.
yeah, for sure. Well, guys, we are hitting around our halfway point, so I just wanted to say that this episode is brought to you by viewers like you, so thank you. So if you guys haven't already, definitely crush that like button. Make sure to share this video out to family and friends in your social medias. We really do appreciate all the love and all the support. That's the best way to support us. The second best way to support us is obviously you can now donate, and all those links are in our descriptions as well. We will take, if we have enough people that are interested, we'll definitely take your guys' questions towards the end of the podcast. So don't go away. So let's, any final thoughts on Outlander?
I love it, and I'm excited to see the rest of it. That's all.
Okay, I'm excited for you to see season 3.
So then what should we talk about? Should we talk about, Alaka and I talk about Arcane really quick before we jump into the final, the Batman?
Yeah.
If we're gonna talk about Arcane, let's talk about it very briefly.
Yeah, I'm
try to
saying
make
like
it-
maybe five minutes.
Also, I know Rianne isn't like a big cartoon person.
Animation. Well, she likes animated stuff.
I watch kids movies.
Yeah, like she likes animated stuff.
Yeah, but this ain't a kids movie kind of thing. This is a
Yeah, like she's watched like animated like adult cartoons and stuff like on Netflix and Hulu and stuff.
Yeah,
I
we
will
won't
say,
talk about,
but-
I watch like F is for Family.
I will say, I don't
Big
care.
Mouth,
No.
the Office version of Big Mouth with the
No.
with
Okay.
the
Anyway,
sex monsters and stuff.
Okay.
It's really weird. But
we're
anyway.
not talking about that stuff, please.
But
No.
you've watched animated cartoons, like
Yes.
okay. So the thing about Arcane is it is based off of a video game, but the animation is definitely different. Like it kind of reminds me of I don't know if you remember.
I don't know if I want to watch it, but
But so here's what I will say though, Rianne. Like I said, I don't care for League of Legends. I've never really been into it. It's not my thing. It's a good show. It's
Okay.
a really good story. Like it's a story of like two sisters who are like the best friends in the world, and like the destruction of that relationship and how it turns into like a whole conflict. It's really like, and it does take a minute to get used to the League of Legends. I've never really, what?
What are you doing, Jake?
Sorry, guys. So the stream kind of got cut, unfortunately. It looks like it's back up on YouTube. I'm just double checking really quick on Facebook and everything. I just saw like just red across the bottom of my. Okay, it looks like we're no longer live on Facebook. That's unfortunate. Let me see if it's still live on Twitch. Okay, so it looks like we're live on Twitch and we are live on YouTube, but it looks like it got canceled on Facebook. So sorry about that, guys. Don't worry, though. I'll make sure to download the episode off of the YouTubes sometime in the next couple of days, and we will make sure to get that uploaded for you guys over there on the Facebook. So it looks like it didn't cut on anything else, just Facebook. So anyways, apologize for that. Continue on, Alec. I'm sorry.
What was I talking about?
So we were talking about the orphans, like
you were telling
kind
us
of
the plot
centered around
of the show.
Vi and Powder, who eventually becomes Jinx, and their relationship with the guy that kind of, has kind of been the father figure of these orphans, and everything that went on with their lives and navigating the things that are going on politically in that world. Yeah.
I will say the art style takes a minute to get used to. When I say a minute, I mean like maybe the first half of the episode. Been into it. It's not.
Really?
Am I good to talk?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
What do you?
Kind of been the father figure.
What is happening?
You're good. You're good.
Okay. But like I love the art style of the show. I love the animation. I love the I don't know how else to describe it. I just love how they designed the art style for it.
I remember seeing a couple of scenes, and the scenes I did see is how they were synchronized with music and how they incorporated the animation and the music together.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was actually way cool.
Yeah.
How they did that. And I know that I haven't seen the whole thing, but I did like that, like how they really embraced the music and like almost made it a synchronized dance kind of thing.
Let me ask you, are you like how open are you to like fantasy worlds like that? I know you like Game of Thrones, but
Fairly open.
She really liked it, Game of Thrones. I think she likes fantasy stuff. Like she likes Lord of the Rings and stuff like that.
I was going to say, like, I know some people that have a really hard time with fantasy might have a hard time with this show, but I mean, like, if you're more focused on the story and like what's going on, then it's a great show. In my opinion, probably one of the best animated series that I've ever seen. Yeah. I will go as far as to say that.
I completely agree with you. Like, just judging off of the first season, there's definitely something to say for that for sure.
Avatar will always be number one for me because I'm biased. But I will put this up there with I'll put it in my top 5. Yeah.
It's definitely incredible for sure. Definitely recommend.
All right. I'll watch the first episode.
Sick.
Yes. You will enjoy it.
I really like how they divided up the episodes. Like the first, like it's 9 seasons. Or 9 seasons. 9 episodes in one season.
9 seasons?
I was going to say 9 seasons total. I hope so. So it's 9 episodes and then 3 episodes, like chapters almost. Mm-hmm. So like the first 3 episodes are a chapter and then the next 3 and then the 3 after that.
Yeah, it's kind of laid out very similarly just to like any kind of storytelling when it comes to books or film or whatever. It has the, the introduction and then the climax and then the
Honestly, I was hooked after the first episode, though. For me, I was like, "Oh, this is cool."
It is a wicked good show. Even the fight sequences, like I was really concerned about the fight sequences because I was like, "Well, they're probably going to try to make it too much like the game," and no, they really didn't. They really focused on actually making it seemed like a really good fight. Some of those elements from the game are in there, but it's not like they tried to stay so true to it that it seemed like you were watching a video game. And that's actually the one thing I kind of didn't appreciate about Halo, is it kind of switches between like first person and third person, and it's really awkward. They try to do that in Doom, and I didn't appreciate it, and they try to do it here. It doesn't work. I don't understand why people are trying to continue to do that, but I digress. The fight scenes are great. Storytelling was great. The characters, very interesting and very deep, very emotionally wrenching when it comes to the dramatics of the story and the characters. And when life is lost, they actually take time, and these characters actually grieve. Like, I cried so much. Like, it's just so beautiful and interesting.
All right. Well, geez. I think I'm going to have to watch it for sure now. It's very positive.
Give it a chance.
Okay.
Yeah.
I encourage anybody to give it a chance. So,
are we moving on to
I say we move
the
on
Batman?
I say we move on to the Batman.
The Batman.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Where were the other drugs going? Oh, wrong Batman. Sorry.
So I really appreciate how, like, so you got like the Dark Knight movies, which are not only top tier superhero movies, but just top tier movies in general. I feel like, you have those, and then you have Ben Affleck's Batman.
Terrible.
And then it wasn't terrible. It just wasn't the best.
It's my least favorite Batman.
But then you've got.
I would have to say.
It's okay. Continue. I'm sorry.
But then you've got this one, which makes it feel. So you got Christian Bale's Batman, which is more like a military guy trying to defend his city. And then you have this Robert Pattinson's Batman. Makes it feel like it's a noir type of feel to it. I don't know.
I got a lot of emo vibes.
Oh my gosh,
Like,
I couldn't. It was so hard.
It felt like the main character was like, especially from the music coming in, definitely felt like he was almost living the life of Kurt Cobain, but through Bruce Wayne.
So
like, I don't know why, but for some reason, like,
I got those vibes.
just the whole look and feel of Batman that they were going for concerns me. Because he's not
like his suit or Bruce Wayne in general.
Bruce Wayne in general. Like, because Robert Pattinson is not a stacked, like, super protective looking, you know what I mean? Like,
He looks very young.
He looked pretty jacked in Tenant. Like, he looked like fit in Tenant. But he wasn't really fit in the Batman.
Batman, like, they made him, like, the fact that they made Bruce Wayne like this whiny kind of broken, like, I don't know, like, the portrayal is so hard for me. I had a really hard time. Not that I don't like Robert Pattinson, I do, but it's just it didn't, I don't know. My mind did not make the paradigm shift of Robert Pattinson as the Batman.
You can definitely tell that he's a young Bruce Wayne.
I got that too, that he was a younger Bruce Wayne.
So the thing that I didn't really like about this movie is how, like, also the way that they portrayed Bruce Wayne. The thing is with Batman's character is, like, he's two different people. He's Batman and he's Bruce Wayne. And I felt like with this whole entire movie, it was like, even when he was Bruce Wayne, he was still Batman.
Yeah.
And it was like,
He's
he's not trying to play off. He's not trying to, like, play off the whole, I'm the rich guy, so I'm snobby. Because that's how Bruce Wayne is.
Yeah.
But this
especially
whole time,
in the
it's
comics,
like,
for sure.
Yeah, this, like, throughout the movie, like, when you see Bruce Wayne interact with other people, it's like, yeah, I'd point out that guy's Batman.
Just off his mannerisms.
You never see him out in public anyway, and he has the money to do it. Like,
yeah,
that's what he's doing with his time. He's making it so obvious.
Yeah, they definitely made him more of a recluse in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he didn't really do much appearances in public. When he did, it was obviously awkward and weird.
Yeah.
And there is something to say for that. As far as, like, there wasn't really a distinction when he went. Like, I mean, it was there, but it wasn't distinct enough for us to see the paradigm shift from the Batman to Bruce Wayne and back and forth. So there is something to say for that, for sure. I did feel like, and in this whole generation of we should not shame people for their body and stuff like that, I get it. But also, Batman's supposed to be a superhero, and especially with his past and everything, like he is usually fairly stacked, like he's supposed to be a very strong person. He really relies on his strength, his combat skills, and with some technology, and so I kind of feel like they really lost the opportunity to really make this feel like very early days of the Batman. Like his suit was already thought out. His suit was very, very good, But then we had Catwoman, who just had a bodysuit and a knit face mask.
Okay,
was
seriously.
really silly.
I'm not body shaming, but the fact that it showed this woman who is literally a twig, she was so small, taking these big buff dudes out with one kick.
Like my size?
I'm
6'5",
there's
250.
literally no way that a woman that size would have enough power, even if she was even if it was all muscle, there's no way that she would have the power in those legs, in that mass, to do any sort of damage that it was portraying. I'm just literally. Now, if it was me and I was totally, but I am not a petite person. I could see myself taking somebody out like that, but she was just the petitest little thing. And I'm just no.
Yeah, the size difference
that does
didn't
not
make
work.
sense with Catwoman's character, and taking out guys like my size. Well, I'm much larger, but I mean, literally 6 foot, 250 pound guys, just one kick to the face, and they're just ugh.
Yeah, and knocked out. I'm no. No.
There is something
work.
to say for that. It didn't make obvious sense as far as biology is concerned.
It wasn't believable for me. Now, if they had a Gal Gadot size, right? She's taller, she's more muscular, she's fuller.
She's also Wonder Woman, so you would buy it.
Oh, hell yeah, I would.
Yeah. Okay, I can
love
see what
Wonder
you guys said
Woman.
there.
Love it. She is my girl. I love Wonder Woman. So, yeah.
And the Phoenix.
Oh, I do love the Phoenix.
Yeah, I feel like Catwoman was portrayed more of a very strong person in her combat skills, and I feel like she should have been more like a rogue or something like that, more stealthy and surprise people and stuff. Because of her size, it would make more sense in believing that. Yes,
right. So Catwoman is yes, that wasn't portrayed very well, because Catwoman was smaller, but it wasn't her combat that, I don't know. Whatever. I'm going to shut up because I didn't read the comics. And the other thing. Okay, I'm going to say one other thing. When they introduce the Batmobile, and it literally takes them a full 60 seconds of it just going, and they're all standing around waiting to see what's going to happen. And it's revving, and then all of a sudden it's put.
It looks like it got,
and then I'm
clutched it.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Got a false start.
That needed a 60-second introduction of the Batmobile to go.
It's just the Batmobile is just a raunched up Mustang.
Yeah, I'm just oh my hell. I was Jacob, when we were watching it, I was it?
We're really? That's the Batmobile? We were both looking at each other. We're the hell?
This is the other problem that I have with this movie is that whole sequence.
Yeah.
The chase scene with the penguin?
I feel like that whole thing compromised Batman. Not only Batman's character, but also Jim Gordon's too. Because they catch Penguin, right? Yeah. And they do it. The price of doing that is blowing up a bunch of cars on the freeway.
Right.
And then they get him. They take him to wherever they take him to interrogate him. And he's not the guy that they need.
Yeah,
So
they
all that
kinda
shit
laid
that
out
just-
the whole plan that they thought was correct and come out like, oh, this isn't the guy we're looking for.
Yeah, so
They
all
just
that
leave him?
shit, all that shit that happened with all the cars blowing up on the freeway.
Yeah, collateral
People-
damage, no big deal.
People probably died. Like that was a lot. That was a lot of exploding. Like, like come on.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they get the guy, and it's like you've got Jim Gordon, who's a brilliant. Hello, puppy just came on my lap. You've got Jim Gordon, who's a brilliant cop, and then Batman, who's supposed to be like one of the greatest detective in the world.
Yeah.
What? All that shit, and it was all for nothing?
It was
Like,
just
come on.
Alaki. It's just disaster porn. That's all.
Yeah, we'll take
That's
your
some Mi-
we'll
that's
take
some
your
Michael
chats at the
Bay.
end. We'll take your chats at the end of the podcast.
That's
Just so
some
you guys
Michael
know.
Bay kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Well,
Boomer,
yeah,
you need to calm
and
down.
it was the sequence of the chase with the Batman and the Penguin was just not that great either, especially when they are trying to make this all very believable. You know, a lot less, thematics to make it really big and grandiose and very impossible, and then all these trucks and stuff kind of topple over and like fling and like skid to magically the ramps come down. You watched it.
That's what that sound is.
Yeah, that's what that sound is.
Are we still recording?
No.
Oh.
It looks like it's still live on YouTube. Looks like it
On
might still be
YouTube.
live on. Yeah, I would laugh if it started re-recording on Facebook.
That's funny.
This is so freaking dumb. I'm so mad right now. I'll get over it though. So, anyways, we're back up again. Go ahead and continue. I'm sorry, guys. I should have reset the router before we started.
That's okay. Trying to think. Where was I at?
We were talking about the Riddler and
Oh, yeah.
his character, and then we
Yeah.
just started talking about how incredibly long it was.
So, fast forward to the end, where he's laughing in his cell. You know who's in that cell next to him.
Oh yeah.
So
I don't.
That's the Joker for sure.
Oh yeah, I felt.
So, did you guys see that they actually released a deleted scene with Batman talking to the Joker?
No.
Oh, y'all gotta watch that.
Where do you watch
gotta
it at?
It's on YouTube.
Oh.
They released it.
Shit. I want to
And
watch that.
You know
That's cool.
You know who they casted for the Joker in that movie?
No.
Okay. Did you ever see what's he in? The Eternals?
Yeah.
He's what's his name? Oh my goodness. He's one of the Eternals.
Really?
Which one?
I'm forgetting all their names.
Well, no, what it was his power in the Eternals? Because if you tell me that, I'll know.
Oh shit! What was his power?
Don't know.
Man, that's
funny. Well, I really didn't like how long it was because I feel like there was so many. Well, let me say this really quick. I will give props that even though that this movie was very long, the pacing was good. Like the pacing of the film was great, and I haven't seen that in a long time in a film. I have to give props for the filmography, the editing. Like they did such a great job with timing. However, there's just a lot. It felt like there's a lot of fat on this film. Like I feel like this could have been easily like a, hour and a half, 2 hour movie, and it could have been more to the point and drawing stuff out that wasn't really necessary. I feel like the whole first hour or so when we got up to that point of the Penguin. I feel like that's where it should have almost started, because everything that happened in the beginning, it was just like nullified and didn't matter at all, and then you just like kind of moved on to the rest of the story of the ending.
Okay.
So
I don't know.
Barry Keoghan is the Joker.
Oh, wasn't he also
Druig from Eternals.
Yeah.
That's who that is.
He's going to be the Joker?
Should wrap this up because you're getting all frustrated over there.
Well, I'm being frustrated because it keeps crashing. Like, we keep disconnecting for why? Like, I tested and we had good connectivity, and now it just keeps disconnecting. And I have no idea why. And that's very, very frustrating for me, especially when we're trying to give good content and ensure that people have a good experience. So I guess I'm just going to have to keep resetting before we do any kind of live streaming, because whatever is happening, and it's pissing me off. But anyways, all right. So I have something to say. So Paul Dano, I felt was okay. I feel like he should have gone a little bit of a different direction with his character and some of the different scenes. But I thought he was okay as the Riddler. I thought he did okay.
Oh.
The one person I felt was a sore thumb sticking out was the person that played Falcone.
He was okay. He wasn't like, I mean, he was menacing, but it was like,
not at all. He was not intimidating at all. He was just kind of like, here's my line. I'm the ultimate bad guy. And you're just like, okay. That's my feeling.
You didn't really get where his intentions were. It's just kind of like,
no, he just did not work for me. He did not work for me. Jeffrey Wright as Gordon, he was okay. I thought he was a good Gordon.
I actually really liked his Gordon. I thought he did a great job.
Oh, and
like
Andy Serkis Alfred was spot on. I really enjoyed his.
Yeah, that scene where he opened the letter and like the bomb went off in his hand. I was actually nervous for him for a sec. Like we've never really seen Alfred's character go, but it's like, you know, that he's like the closest thing that Bruce has. So it's like, we've never seen this before. We could potentially see him die.
Right.
But yeah, after they got to the hospital and they were like, well, he'll be okay if XYZ happens. It's just like, okay, he'll be fine then. So.
All right, let's do final thoughts and take a couple of chats before we close. What final thoughts? Who has final thoughts?
I love Outlander, and Batman was too long.
I didn't hate this. I didn't hate the Batman. I didn't hate it. But it also wasn't my favorite movie either. I didn't hate it. I liked it enough.
Yeah.
You were entertained by it.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Yeah, there's some directional changes I would have done differently with some of the characters. I mean, there's only maybe one or two people I felt like were really out of place. Pacing was really good. The storytelling was really good for the most part. I kind of feel like the hero movie, they kind of made it more of like a dark, drama crime kind of film instead of it like being a traditional like Batman film. So I have to give props for them to at least trying something different, and I feel like they did a really good job with it for the most part, even with my stipulations of what I disagree with. I feel like overall they did a pretty good job. Rianne, who sunk into the the couch.
This is the only position my back isn't like freaking killing me. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, all I can
The
only
direction that
thing
they went.
is
Sorry.
you're talking over me.
Sorry.
You're talking over me again. I'm just kidding. The only thing that I remember that
I did a switch
really
tabs. I'm sorry.
stood out to me was the whole like introduction of the Batmobile. Like, and that just created such a disappointment for me. I kind of checked out for the rest of the movie. So that's my final thoughts.
Yeah.
I was like, never mind. Okay.
Yeah.
Nah.
There's something to say for that. And that's something I feel like they could have really done, is that if they were really kind of going for like an early like rendition of Batman, early rendition of his technology, kind of developing and how he's utilizing it. And that's something I feel like they really did good, is that Batman made a lot of mistakes and he got hurt quite a bit and knocked unconscious several times. Like, I thought that was really good, and I wish they run with that a little bit more and actually drew back his technology and made him more like, you know, just in your face, like brawler, like combat, with some of his technology kind of starting to come out.
But
and
they
like
couldn't
his
do
suit
that 'cause
wasn't
he was
perfect.
Too puny. Sorry.
I mean, there's just some things I feel like they could have done a little bit better on. Overall, are we doing it out of 10 now?
I don't know.
I give it.
I'm giving it a 7 out of 10.
Do you give it out of 100?
I usually give it.
I usually
10.
do, but we can do out of 10. What do you think, Alakai? You seem to be deep in thought and wrestling with the idea of giving this a rating.
I'll give it a 7.5. I'll give it that much.
That's fair.
I'll give it a 4.
Wow. I didn't think it was that bad. I'm still entertained.
Again, but that's the thing.
Oh, that's right. You should probably go back.